scores, we ain't set. We said winner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F. Fam over gram, that's a message. We be stacking bread up like it's cheddar. Talking about the scores, we ain't set. We said winner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, F. Dreams over schemes, that's a
Bam.
Yes, sir. Okay, ready? I got a story.
Let's go.
So this morning, I had an eye doctor appointment, and the eye doctor that I go to is one of these ginormous Taj Mahal. Look, I live in Hickory, North Carolina. We're not talking about Chicago or LA or whatever. And I know some of these doctors and surgeons, and they're wildly wealthy. And this eye doc, look, man, all I do is I wear contacts. Every year I got to go, or else I can't order my damn contacts, right? Like the whole insurance game.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm going to be there for 2 freaking hours. Like I know this. By the way, that's not this morning's appointment. I'm going to be there for 2 hours. Why? Because I got to meet with the contact department, and I got to meet with the actual eye doc who's going to check for glaucoma and all the crap that they always check for. And I just bring my iPad and I connect to Wi-Fi and I work. But this should not take 2 hours. So a week ago, I had that appointment. It took 2 hours. The doc wanted to change something about my contacts. So he asked me to go back to the contact lens department. He's like, man, it'll be 3 minutes, I promise, because I had to get back to the office. So I go back, I wait 15 more minutes. So we're now pushing 2.5 hours, which, by the way, I was seeing just fine. I didn't need, everything was fine. So I go up to the front desk and I said, look, I'm not waiting anymore. So what do I need to pay? She said, we'll just get you when you come back, because we're going to have you back to check how they're fitting or whatever, the contacts. So I left. So this morning I went back for the follow-up. All the follow-up was to make sure that I got an astigmatism in one of my eyes, was just to make sure that the contact is sitting just right. Which, by the way, yeah, it's fine. Like, does it have to sit perfectly? But whatever. Okay. So I go, the appointment's at 8 o'clock. Should be 10 minutes. I'm out the door. 30 minutes goes by and nobody has called my name. And now it's Friday morning, man. I'd like to be in a good mood. I'm now already irritated. I don't want to be here anymore. And of course, what am I doing? I'm texting Nikki, my wife, saying, find me a new eye doctor. I'm never coming back to this place again. So I walk up to the front desk as politely as I can. And I said, I've been waiting 30 minutes. All this is a follow-up. What's the problem? And she looked at me and she said, wait for it. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, hold on. Let me back up. When you walk in the door, there's all these beautiful little booths and stuff with high technology. There's TVs everywhere. Like, the place is beautiful, Abdel. I walk in at the front door. There's a lady with an iPad, and she takes your name. She checks you in, which, by the way, I don't understand why somebody has to be standing there, but whatever. She checks you in. Mr. Levin, you're good to go. You don't need to do anything. We got your insurance. Just have a seat. We'll call you back. Okay, great. Now 30 minutes goes by. I go up to the desk, not the same lady. And she looks and her eyes kind of open up and she says, oh my gosh, you never got checked in. Okay. Well, I'm about to walk out, but now I feel a little bad because it also messed up the contact lens department because they thought I was coming and they must've thought I was a no-show, whatever. So we go through it. And then the appointment took 5 minutes. I'm leaving. I go buy my contacts. I'm leaving. The lady is profusely apologizing. The lady that checked me in is yelling back at her saying, but I did check him in. It wasn't my fault. I did check him in. And I asked her, I said, you're standing there with an iPad. Did you click a button? or did you just yell across the hallway of this $50 million building to tell somebody that Mr. Levin's here? Which, by the way, that's my dad. To say that Eric's here, right? So this then got me thinking. By the way, I'm not going back to that place. And they're a big sponsor of another business that I'm involved in. And I'm friendly with some of their docs. I'm not going back. I'm going to go find, average Joe down the street who's in a crappy building who will get me in and out of there in about 5 seconds. Okay. So this got me thinking. Years ago, when I I still do it. But when I would workshop and speak in front of groups about efficiencies relative to business development. In our industry, one of the things I used to talk about, and Abdel, this is how you and I met because I was on stage at a PRMG event years ago. And I would talk about the first thing you need to know is who you are. And you can break that down across 6 core competencies: business, leadership, operations, technology, geography, and culture. That's the 6th one.
Yeah.
Okay. Within that, you identify who you are, what's your value prop, and how does that relate to 3 things: a customer, a referral partner, and a recruit. Okay. And then on the other side of that equation, take the recruit as an example. You break them down by the same 6 core
All the
competencies.
6 principles.
Okay. Let's talk about operations, because when I'm walking out of the door of the freaking eye doctor, I'm telling them your problem isn't that you are someone I'm pissed off at. Your problem is that you have an operational problem. You have an operational breakdown that has now wasted my time, and I still have to pay for this service. So a while back, operations really moved the needle in this industry. It really, really did. You'd ask questions like, well, what are your turn times? And there's this whole competition around turn times, which really we don't talk about that anymore. It matters, but I think it matters more from a market signal perspective, how are markets performing versus how a company is performing. But if your turn times were significantly better, that could help you win a referral partner. That could help you win a recruit. That can help you educate a customer, right, on why they should partner with you and pay 1/8 of a point more or 1/4 point more if they've done that research and they understand what the comparisons look like. In addition, operations, when managed properly, could personally help you win one loan that can convert into an agent that's now sending you more business. There's a multiple to that loan. So here's my question for you. How much does this still matter in a world where technology is either taking over a lot of these things, or there's the perception that it's taking over a lot of these things? So I'd love your thoughts on how much does operations, both globally and down to that one processor that did something great, or that one underwriter that did something great, how does it relate today versus a couple of years ago to creating value and multiples with a referral partner, a customer, and a recruit?
So this is like my secret sauce. Everybody knows me as the tech guy, the AI guy. And as you get to know me more, you're like, oh, you're not just a sales gorilla. You are an operational maniac. And ops helps you retain your clients, your partners, and your consumers.
Mm.
So ops, I think, in my opinion, is going to retain, because you can have all this song and dance, right? You can have a $50 million building. Your perception can be amazing. You can drive the fanciest car. You can have some videographer following you around. You could spend $200,000 on Zillow leads and this and that. If that lead's not getting called in seconds, you have an operational breakdown. If your file is not being disclosed the second, in Jersey, we're an attorney review state, if that originator is not passing the file the same day that contract is signed, where my processor submits it the following day, you're going to answer to the gorilla. One of the biggest things that I always push, and as you know, and those of us who are watching, I've only been with PRMG. I love PRMG on multiple levels. But one of the biggest reasons why I would never leave PRMG is because of ops. Our ops are amazing. We I forget the math, but I know a high percentage of our people that work for our institution is 20 plus years in our ops side. That says a lot. All of my ops people that are with me have started with me from the start of my career on a branch level. So my processor, my ops manager, my admins, and all that stuff, right? You can't build a house without the right architect and then the foundation, right? It's not foundation, then architect. So the architect is going to be ops. The foundation is then going to be sales. And then the service part is going to be the actual house itself, right? And I'll tell you, dude, we move fast as shit. And it's because of our ops team. And it's down from a local level, right? From the originator. I should even dial it back from the admin connecting the originator with the consumer, the loan officer connecting them, the admin stepping in and helping them get documents and helping them move things forward and doing a soft credit authorization. And then, or let me dial it back, because you and I have talked numerous times where I need to like slow down and explain my process, right? Mm-hmm. So this is how where ops kicks in, guys. Not sales, not the gorilla, not use me, not they found me on chat, not Zillow. The lead's in. Now I got to do what I can to, you hear me say, recruit the client, retain the client, which is going to get me revenue. So I've recruited the client, right? I've gotten sales, I've done whatever I had to do. The hardest part that I know where many professionals tend to, in any industry, tend to lack is that retention, right? So a consumer has come in, right? What are you doing from there? How fast is somebody coming and calling them? How fast is somebody reaching out to them? Is it an AI via text, via voice? Is it an originator? Is it an admin? Whatever the case may be. And are you tracking that metrics and that KPI to know that it needs to be faster or slower, right? And then the next step should be, okay, you're asking them for documents in our world. W-2s, pay stubs, driver's license. That's all I ask for up front, because bank statements will figure it out later and all the other stuff. Speed. You got me what I need. We're issuing a pre-approval. We're shooting a housing link update with everything that's in there. Great. Now we get a contract. Originator, your job. We're still in Encompass, right? We're actually building out a super cool, forward-facing platform. But you're in Encompass. You're clearing your qualification milestones. You're doing this. You're passing the baton off to the operations. I never want the originator to go back in the file again, because we've built such a strong ops team to take the file now. The baton's been handed off, dude. You're the originator. You're the QB. You've passed the ball off to the running back, who I think honestly is the ops team. The ops team's role is to push it through. Now the QB, and you and I are sports guys, right? NFL draft was just the other day. The QB doesn't just stand there, right? There's been some famous moments where that running back is running and the wide receiver has pushed everybody out. The cornerback has done their part of trying to get to them, and he's being pushed out. And out of nowhere, Tom Brady comes and tackles the safety. That's the originator, right? Is to be next to that running back. Hey, yo, you good? You good? Where are we going? Are you juking him left? Are you juking him right? So I can block. That's the originator, right? And as long as you create that clear path for the running back, for the operations team, you will score that touchdown very efficiently. If you're the running back and the quarterback comes in front of him, that's a problem. That running back's not going to go through you, right?
Don't you find that happens because of lack of trust?
Sure.
Yeah. Or that there's a control problem, which is usually lack of trust also, where that originator wants to control everything and they won't allow the people that know how to do that job to go do their job. I want to come back to something in a second that you said.
Well, I'll tell you this, just to stick to that analogy though, about trust and stuff like that, because we deal with that, right? I shared it on several of our other pods. Is there's two sides of an originator, a newbie and a seasoned guy. The seasoned guy is usually the one that's getting in front of the ops team because they think they know better. But now let's look at the sidelines. The head coach, the assistant coach, branch manager, sales manager, ops manager. Your job is to tell that seasoned guy, get the hell out of the way, dude. Yeah. Like we have built the Ray Rice. We have built the Adrian Petersons. We have built the Deion Sanders, who are going to get you to the finish line. You've done your job, dude. You've gotten us the ball. Defense has gotten us the ball. They've gotten our things. Now your job is to hike it, or your job is to go and block it, right? And I love that analogy, and I'm making it up as we go, because I would not be the originator that I am today or the region that we have built if it isn't for our operations team. Because then you're just the boy who cried wolf, who's like, yo, I could do this, I could do that. And then you turn around and you're like, bro, escrow just passed. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, child support came up. Why don't you catch that from the beginning, originator? Why don't you work on that with your ops team? Why don't you ask if it's court mandated? Why don't you go through all the million situations that arise? And if they do come up, you're able to catch it and work with ops to get it to the finish line. So I had to throw in that.
I dig it. What about the person or company that says, but I don't need all these people anymore? I mean, technology can now do so much of it. I'm curious, going back to the original thought, if and when it really is that tech is doing damn near all of it, what are we then missing?
Communication.
Go deeper.
Dude, we are so all that stuff, right, is happening, right? Staying on the same reference, right? We're all big dudes, right? We love football. I call it our John Madden updates. I know you've heard me say this, Eric, before. Like clockwork, any of us watching this, if you think we're full of shit, watch any of my pods or anytime we've been on stage, I talk about it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like clockwork, I don't give a shit if you just emailed on Tuesday at 9:50 and now you got to email again. It's usually before 7 a.m. Now you got to email again saying, hey guys, just an update. As I mentioned, we're waiting on a conduct questionnaire and the file's been approved and we're waiting on the appraisal to come back, right? The communication, whether it's an AI, right? There's companies out there like Friday Harbor and this and that that's supposed to, like, you click a button and you get the answer in 2 seconds. Great. Does the realtor know that?
Yeah.
Does the buyer's attorney know that? Does the consumer know that? Does the consumer know that your company is investing so much in technology to make loan manufacturing cheaper, to now make your margins hopefully lower, to now offer a more competitive interest rate and compete with ABC XYZ Bank? If they don't, you better damn well open your mouth and say that.
Yeah.
Communication will move the needle no matter what age we're in, whether it's revolutionary, whether it's industrial, whether it's digital, whether it's AI age. If you're telling, like, I always have pride, and it's also because we're building it out. That's also, the pride helps out too. But yo, we just did this. Yo, appraisal just came in. Yo, file just came in. Yo, aside from the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the live updates are going to give you that opportunity to that partner being like, man, Abdel just told me the same thing 3 times, and I know where my file is at, and I'm still waiting on this jackass from ABC Bank, and I still don't know where he's at. You know what? And this happens, guys, and you could check out our reviews. I'm going to call Abdel, and I'm going to find out, because this lender is telling me that this deal can't get done. And just like anything, we're going to look at the deal, and we're like, yeah, you got nothing, dude. Or we got to get a little creative and go non-occupying borrower, higher down payment, reduce the down payment, pay off liabilities. So many instances, or we're going to do a VA exception like we just closed, and then we're going to have the opportunity to do it because we're Ginnie direct. Right? So many different ways to do it, but no matter how, there's so many ways to skin a cat, right? Ops is going to be successful if it's communicated correctly. So Eric, think about it. If this chick who checked you in, right, going back to your situation, she obviously apologized profusely and stuff, and we're in sales, so you're like, yeah, dude, I get it.
I know, that's right. Yeah.
But if it's always like, yeah, or maybe like a ping to the doctor that was checking your contacts, hey, yo, we pissed off a client. Can you do me a favor and come? Because obviously, I wish all of my originators worked as smoothly and efficiently as I do, but there's chiefs and Indians, right? But I can't tell you guys how many times, if there was the slightest thing that occurred on a deal and I know it wasn't our fault, I will still always come out and be like, hey guys, I'm so sorry. I sincerely apologize. I'm glad we made it to the finish line. I'm glad we were able to take care of everything. Please let me know if there's anything in the future that we could put together. You know, we generally do not operate in this fashion, but nevertheless, I'm glad we're able to take care of you, and I appreciate your trust. If that person, or that, even that receptionist or that front chick, because then it starts becoming the blame game. And I hate, if an originator goes, well, our underwriter is asking for this. No, fucker, we're asking for it. We rep the same colors. We rep the same company, my friend. There is no, this is the sales department, this is this. Or when you have, right now we're dealing with a bunch of post-closing crap, and I think it's that time of the year too. Normally what happens, like post-investor suspense, oh, give me a pay stub. And you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, but if you go to the client, you're like, yo, man, our post-closing department is asking for it, as opposed to, hey, man, you know, I appreciate your trust. I hope you're enjoying the home and so on and so forth. Hey, you remember when you signed at the closing table saying if we needed anything in the future, we were going to potentially need it? Well, these are one of the instances. You do me a favor and just send me an updated pay stub, because when we closed, you said that you were on leave and the pay stub you gave me was under 40 hours. And now we need an updated one. Appreciate you, dude. 2 minutes later, got it. And this is a live scenario, by the way, I just dealt with this morning.
Yeah.
It's the message.
Yeah. What a great example. Look, I'm no Sam Altman. Like I hope and pray what he thinks is going to happen is not what happens. You know, that the robots are, you know, he's actually said it, right? There's no need for humans. Like we're inferior. I think what this little revolution we're going through right now is also teaching us is that there is a sweet spot inside of there, and that sweet spot balances the two. That's not revolutionary what I just said, but what is that most people aren't finding the sweet spot. They're not making that effort. They're either committing to, I want to be with a company that drives everything via technology and automation, which sometimes might be you needing to look in the mirror to think about what it is that you actually want to do for a living and what kind of income do you want to make. if you're not having to do anything anymore, quite frankly, versus that sort of balance. So, man, you started off with the reason why human beings and operations on your team communicating efficiently is important is because of retention. When you first said that, I thought, but as I think about it, I totally get that, because retention does relate to what? New business. You retain your past customers, you retain your referral partners. What are they going to say about you? You know, take it a step further. Your underwriter does something that goes above and beyond. You know, okay, go back. When something goes wrong, it's we. When something goes right, it's usually we also, but sometimes it's okay to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. referral partner that I've never done a loan with, you know Sally that you compete with over at KW? Oh, yeah, I bump into Sally all the time, you know, whatever. Just had a great win. You know, one of our underwriters stepped in and did XYZ. We got a deal that was having a lot of trouble. Another company couldn't do it. You know, our underwriter was able to save that deal, and now Sally is sending us X amount of business. I can do the same thing for you. Well, that's a validating story, not just a bullet about we have great underwriting. It's a validating story that might, you know, you go into Model Match, you see who does that agent compete with. You go grab an agent that you've never done a loan with. You use that validating story to now go win that new agent. Well, that kind of is that is the next step in retention. How do I utilize what allowed me to retain someone to now go get a new someone or increase more market share with someone I'm already doing business with? And then the last thing, yeah, man, I didn't think about this, but you're totally right. I'm not going to get a text message from this IDOC. I'm not going to get a phone call with somebody apologizing. You know what also I didn't get? I didn't get the human interaction of someone that should have seen that I'm sitting there for 30 minutes now after I've checked in. Somebody should have noticed that that's not okay. Before I stood up, somebody should have come to me and said, hey, have you not been called back yet? I say, no, and I got to go. Like, I'm kind of busy. Well, let me go check and see what happened. And then now I've got two things. You actually identified the problem. You solved it before I had to complain about it, and you apologized for it. So I love this, man. The day that the need for human capital on the operation side that can actually move the needle because of them acting like a human being, the day that those things completely go away is the day that guys like you and I probably go do something else for a living.
Yeah. I think I'll share this again, because like giving the speed, giving the conversation, I always obviously sometimes have to check yourself as like, hey, I got to remember I'm also a mortgage guy. Right. Where I told you on our previous pod where I took like a 3-week hiatus from anything building out AI or technology and stuff. But I'll tell you, man, over the last 6 months, 7 months, I have never been more on the phone. It has given me back so much time, so much stuff. But I'm always very conscious about it, guys. And this is the important part, is you got to be conscious as like, all right, the number of texts you're sending, the number of emails that you're sending over this, you're competing against people who have fatter wallets, who are building out robots to do this stuff. The only thing that they can't build out is me, is the Jersey gorilla. What's up? What do we got? Talk to me. What's the situation? Be completely honest with me. I mean, within 4 minutes of a conversation with somebody, I'm learning about why their ex-wife broke up with them and why they're doing this and why they're doing that. Because it's the bro code. It's the what's up, what do we got? That will never be replaced. That connection with somebody, that, hey, and also you got to also be intentional, guys, when you're making those calls, when you know who you're talking about. Like, I'm searching you online. I know you might be a little older. So I'm going to maybe watch my Sailor Mouth. Or I'm also going to know that you're a Patriots fan. So the first time when you pick up the phone, I'm going to bust your balls about it and be like,
that's a little hard for us Giants fans to do right now, quite frankly.
I mean, the only win we have is Jim Harbaugh. So that's the only thing that I could take with Harbaugh. But, so again, that is the key, guys. Sales will always obviously be the one that takes the cheerleading on and gets the brunt of it, whether it's sales through technology or sales through whatever platform. If you do not have the right ops systems, whether it's through technology or whether it's through human interaction, and it's not being relayed and that delivery of that message is not getting anywhere, you're going to talk to a small pot of people, right? It's just a reality of it. And if your ops is not efficient, whether it's through tech or whether it's through the other one, you're going to very quickly find out that churn rate, which you could track on Model Match, is going to be pretty low, right? You're going to be losing a lot of clients along the way. So
good stuff, man. All right. Know who you are, know who your team is, know who the offensive linemen are, the quarterback, the diva wide receiver like Abdel, although you ain't built like a wide receiver, and put them in a position to not only help you retain, but help you leverage and scale. Good stuff, Abdel. I love it.
thanks, dude. See you soon.